forever, killer. I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
So I said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh shit. Oh, I bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, 2, 3, 4.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is charged in a murder for hire plot.
Lil Durk's real name is Durk Bank, and he is from Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested last night and is being held without bond. This comes only hours after 5 people associated with his music business were also accused and taking part in that murder for hire plot. Now, the plot targeted rapper Quando Rondo's cousin, who was killed in 2022. Investigators believe it was retaliation for the earlier murder of Chicago rapper King Von.
In Florida, residents are once again beginning the slow process of
little news snippets. You know, that's the thing. Everybody is making sure that they get their lives in, right? Even if it's 30 minutes. But every news organization is absolutely going to be talking about this today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. I hope you are having a good Friday. Durk, as you all may be hearing, you're waking up to this news. I don't know how many of you can really act too surprised, though. I'll be honest with you. Yesterday, when I heard that 5 members of Durk's OTF squad had been arrested for a conspiracy to commit murder against Quando Rondo, I wondered when we were going to see Durk's face on a mugshot. Durk has been arrested and is facing criminal charges for murder for hire. He was arrested in Florida by the U.S. Marshals, Broward County to be exact. Several members of his Chicago-based OTF crew, which Durk has ties to, were charged yesterday with the slaying of rapper Quando Rondo's cousin. Lil Durk was taken into custody by U.S. Marshals overnight, in the middle of the night, and he was booked into the Broward County Jail late last night. So he was definitely the piece to the pyramid that authorities were looking for. And we're talking about federal authorities. Federal authorities caught him. U.S. Marshals caught him. This incident happened in California. Makes one wonder, right? Will there be a RICO charge coming for Durk? Durk's lawyers, Brian Bieber, and LeakYou.com have confirmed that he was arrested by the marshals, adding that he will have his first appearance today in federal court in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But again, let's talk a little bit more about what is going on. So the feds bust 5 members of the OTF squad yesterday, and this is in connection to a shooting that happened back in August 2022 in Los Angeles that killed Quando Rondo's cousin. Who's Quando Rondo? Quando Rondo is the same man who had an altercation with Vaughn, King Vaughn, in Georgia. And Vaughn was killed. But can I just say something about that incident with King Vaughn? Little Tim, a member of Quando Rondo's squad, was the one who shot Vaughn. Or I should say shot at Vaughn, because what seems to keep getting missed in all the commentary regarding the murder of King Vaughn is the fact that police were shooting at the group of men and women. Police. It's been such a mystery. But they were following Vaughn. And authorities somehow got involved in that altercation when it went down between Quando Rondo and Vaughn's crews. And police were shooting ammunition, folks, at the entire group of people. And we don't know what bullets hit Vaughn from police and what bullets from Little Tim's gun hit him. I've been saying since the death of Vaughn happened that Little Tim was unlikely to face any charges for that. It was more likely to be a self-defense situation in regards to Quando Rondo and Little Tim. But you can see a definite change that's been happening in Quando Rondo. He just did like a letter to Savannah recently. He was approved to go on tour in New York City. He's been on some heavy duty probation. He was approved to, he's been making all of these attempts, to make the wrong things that he's done right, sort of a thing. So anyway, he published a letter to the city of Savannah to apologize and thank them for all the support. His probation officers approved his request to go out and work. And so you got that. Then you've got Durk's OTF crew, who has been labeled a gang, although Durk has been, trying to fight that label, who have now been arrested for the murder of his cousin because they were, getting some get back for the death of Vaughn. Now, federal agents swooped in yesterday and arrested 5 men in connection to that shooting in Los Angeles that killed Quando Rondo's cousin. They've been charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire in retaliation for Vaughn's death. Now, federal prosecutors in California announced there was a grand jury indictment. Undoubtedly, they also indicted Durk. This indictment that was announced yesterday included Kevon Grant, known as Vonnie, DeAndre Wilson, known as Day-Day, Keith Jones, known as Flocka, David Lindsay, known as Brown Eyes, and Asa Houston, known as Boogie. Now, TMZ reported yesterday that Durk wasn't listed as a defendant, but I don't think they knew that he had been indicted as well. But again, Durk's been vigorously trying to fight a label that the OTF gang is a separate case, or is not a gang. But let's not forget a different situation, a different case involving the murder of FBG Duck. Now, prosecutors claim that this shooting that happened back in August 2022 stemmed directly from the November 2020 altercation in Atlanta, where Quando associate Lil Tim shot and killed King Von after a fight broke out. Now, according to this indictment that came in, the alleged OTF gang members set up a bounty, and they used a credit card that was associated with the label to book plane tickets. These plane tickets were used to travel from Chicago to California in order to hunt down Quando after they learned of his whereabouts. Now, feds claim that I wouldn't say the ringleader, I would say more so the guy that was overseeing all of this, Kevon Grant, he flew on a private jet from Miami to Cali to oversee this deadly operation. He secured the hotel rooms and other necessary tools to carry out this hit. And that includes cars, ski masks, and firearms. In order to carry out this deadly plan, he rented a BMW and Infiniti sedans fitted with fake license plates that the group allegedly used during this murder. Now, prosecutors have stated they do believe that Quando was the intended target, and he was actually sitting in the vehicle at the time, but the bullets hit his cousin, Savia Robinson, instead. Quando was distraught. Obviously, when this happened, he struggled to speak to investigators on the scene, and prosecutors say that this group that came out of Chicago flew out the next day. Now, Houston and Jones are scheduled for hearings in Chicago on Monday. The others waived their right to a hearing in Chicago, and they will be sent promptly to Los Angeles to face charges. Now, Durk and Quando did cool off their back and forth exchanges shortly after, but ironically, they both have albums dropping next month. But let's talk about FBG Duck for a little bit here. Durk has been sued for the murder of FBG Duck. And I know not a lot of people have been really talking about that, but there is a lawsuit that alleges Chicago rapper Durk was involved in the shooting that killed FBG Duck. And it's really, we've also heard that Vaughn, prior to his death, put 100 racks on FBG Duck's head. But a lawsuit has been filed against Durk by FBG Duck's family. FBG Duck, whose real name was Carlton Weekly, was gunned down in Chicago in the Gold Coast by a group of masked men as he waited to enter a Dolce & Gabbana store in August of 2020. His girlfriend and another man that was with him at the time were injured in that attack. But they joined Carlton Weekly's mom in filing a lawsuit against Durk, alleging that he had a hand in this gang-related killing, wanting to take FBG Duck out. There was a years-long rivalry that actually played out in a series of songs and music videos, but the attorney for FBG Duck's mother stated that their complaint laid out the $100,000 bounty that had been placed on the life of FBG Duck to have him killed. The lawsuit named a wide-ranging list of defendants, including Durk, his OTF record family, only the family, that's what it's known as, and said that essentially the OTF label welcomes artists that are engaging in criminal activity, putting profit over human life. 6 purported members of that gang were convicted of murdering FBG Duck. 6. We watched that whole thing go down. It's really sad that when one makes it, they just can't let those streets go. Durk has been married in recent times. There was talk of him doing an interview where he was, talking about how he was putting the street life down and King Von, who has been labeled a serial killer, he's dead. He lost his life to the streets. Or to the hand or to the bullets of police. Again, make sure when you all talk about the death of King Von and how, little Tim shot a gun and, it was between Quando Rondo, make sure you don't forget the fact that there were police watching all of it go down. Shooting at these men and women, this group of men and women. Let's not forget that. Von was being followed. I think it's highly likely that if Von was alive today, it's highly likely that he would be facing some charges for some of the murders that have been attributed to him over the years. There's been police investigators that have even come out and talked about how they suspected Von was involved with this murder, that murder, this murder, that murder. But again, it's, I'll leave it at that. But all of this get back. Got to get him back. Got to get that revenge, so to speak. And now Durk is going to be facing one of the biggest challenges of his life. And of course he has children, right? Yeah. But all this murder, gang. Murder, gang. I mean, I almost want to say, some of these people act like they're professional hit, assassins or something. When you get to a certain level of power and visibility, I should say a certain level of visibility, you can't be seen participating in the murder of someone, right? So they're going to do everything you can to try to separate yourself. But again, the feds say there was a credit card used that's attached to the label to buy these plane tickets for these men that went to California to commit a murder for hire. There's certainly going to be a lot more to come. And this is on the eve of a potential mistrial that may be declared. We don't know for sure. But there is the large chance that there's going to be a mistrial in the case of Young Thug in Georgia. The trial that, just keeps on giving, that with no end in sight. Been going over, it's the longest trial ever held in the state of Georgia for anybody. There's going to be a big announcement coming Monday on that trial. There's also been talk of the Menendez brothers being freed with a resentencing structure in California. There's been a lot happening in the true crime arena. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Now, as we bring this, a bit to a close, there's talk, you all, of, the Durk's gang or whatever, and the snitch, the so-called, who told it? Who told it? See, here's the other problem when you surround yourself with people that have been in and out of jail, who, are committing, crime after crime after crime, whatever you want to call it, gang members. Here's the problem when you surround yourself with those type of people and you make a label out of it, right? Everybody ain't going to make it to the big time, number one. Two, there's going to be sore feelings, jealous feelings because of that. And number three, somebody's going to snitch. All those criminals with all those types of personalities, believe me, there's a bunch of cowards in the group. And that's the problem when you surround yourself with people like that who have experience with law enforcement. Because now, it's all good to snitch, right? Where it used to be taboo, well, Gunna made it an okay thing to snitch. And now we see Young Thug potentially getting a mistrial out of this, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? So many things to think about, you all. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'll definitely be live later on tonight to talk some more about this as we find out more information over the day today. Again, Durk will be facing a hearing this morning in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So you all get ready. It's going to get a lot more crazier, Donnie. Until next time, everyone.
Got to pop the pill. I'ma show. Got to pop the pill. I'ma show my ass. I'ma make a
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.